Welcome back to Supply House. Today we have an exciting job. It's a bit different than normal. We get to serve some of the first responders that serve their community. We're working at the Jackson Hole Fire Department. They have an immaculate team. You can see all their gear is perfect, their trucks are perfect, and their floor, unfortunately, it was super well maintained by a bunch of guys that were doing the very best they could, but they had a wonky slab, a bunch of stuff flaking off of it, some fake epoxy, and we're here to try to serve them the way they serve everybody else. So God bless you guys, first responders and Jackson Hole, and we're excited to do the very best we can for you guys and your community. What you see down here is probably about 18, maybe 13, 12 gallons of epoxy, which was probably just a catalyzed paint that was put down. You see with all the tire traffic from heavy fire trucks, it's been wearing right off the floor, all the expansion joints from a high thermoshock situation. We're up in the mountains here, so hot summers, cool winters, expands and contracts. You see all your fractures and expansion joints opening up. Makes it difficult for them to clean. When we get done with this, we're gonna have probably about 5 times more epoxy on top, but that's not the important part. The important part is that we're gonna be grinding through this coating so that it's not sealed, showing you how we'll actually impregnate the actual concrete floor with our epoxy, which is gonna be about 15,000 PSI. And everybody always brags about how high a PSI their epoxy is, but remember, it's the flexibility that you should be bragging about. So the real kind of flex on this product is flex, no pun intended. We're using our Ultra Flex product, but it's gonna actually penetrate the slab and soak into it, cure out to about 15,000 PSI. But even in a freeze-thaw environment, if you're down to 0 degrees, you could take it and fold it back on itself, which is gonna really allow it to bridge, when done properly, all these expansion joints and allow movement, but without fracturing or opening up. You see a lot of drain clean outs and actual inline drains and different things in your floor. You don't wanna be running into those with your walk-behind grinder, and you also don't wanna be epoxying your floor where the finished height is below your drain in any way, so that water gets halfway to it and you end up with a pool, like a puddle or something that's not actually draining. So we're gonna take a bit of time deciding if we need to remove these or if we can go really clean up against them. The next thing we're doing is we're taking our crack tracing blade and we're gonna be opening up all these fractures, and where you see it's really tight on the surface, we're gonna cut that open to where it's about 3 to 5/8 of an inch. That way when it heats up, the slab can push together. You might see a little wrinkle or whatnot, but that's just, we're allowing movement in the center of your floor. A lot of times they're gonna be here where it's 20 below zero and they're gonna have doors open to just inclement weather. They can't close them, and it can also be 105, 110 here on a hot summer day. They're gonna leave the doors open, so we need to really think about that so that this whole floor handles that expansion and contraction, which is called thermoshock. And that's probably the #1 most damaging thing to a concrete slab, that if you don't know how to deal with, or you're doing it with the wrong products, you will see failures. So watch the details, because it's all the little details we're doing this week that's gonna make you successful. We bid to just do the floors in here. Obviously, I didn't think about these sewer grates. We never actually came here when we measured the job. We took measurements off of them in photos, which is very common for our long travel jobs. When we showed up, there's drain ports in the floor, a bunch of sewer access covers, and they're just all very corroded, old paint, grime on them. And I think it's gonna make the job pop so much more to actually grind this concrete, bevel it down into where it's flush with this cover. Because right now you see it's kind of about an 1/8 inch to a 1/4 inch higher on most of these covers, and it's not even. So we'll make sure we bevel that super smooth around there, clean this up. We'll probably paint these matte black. The grates in the floor that are gonna be by the striping, we might do fire engine red for them. We'll be throwing a big logo on the floor as well, but remember, it's the details that make your job. So if you're ever wondering why you don't make big bucks or anything, and you don't get those jobs, it's probably because of the little details that you don't do extra. So I had a friend, Jeff Rich, and he's an old timer guy, really, really good. He's very famous right now for building some of the highest end guitars and cars. both. And I asked him like what his secret, like how he got so good at body work, because people buy his cars from all over the world, or all over the country rather. And he said, you know, the biggest secret I have is I'm an average auto body guy. But he said, I clean their car and I do all the little peripheral details that they weren't expecting so well. They've usually never seen their car taken care of that well or that clean ever. So they get it back and they think it was just me doing awesome body work. So again, when you're coming here, and I mean, this is a fire station. These people serve other people every day. Go a little bit of an extra mile, make your job look super clean. I bet you this will take me 4 to 6 hours in here, total man hours on this job, and all of our vents and grates will look super clean, and that's how you get referrals. So remember, it's the details. It's your edges, it's your corners, your vents. It's just how you deal with those to make your whole job look good. So don't tell me it's not your job, just figure out how to get it done. So you got Ryan out here with an 18-inch roller. You notice after they scrape it, he's just rolling. That's just considered cross rolling. You're looking for any little squeegee chop marks, little puddles, and you're just wanting a very monolithic, even sheet to the whole floor. So if he finds little areas that are very thin, he'll be cross rolling and creating a nice even layer over the top of them. If there's little puddles, he'll be soaking them up. So it's usually done very dry. You're not doing it with a bunch of, you never dip your roller in epoxy. You're literally just trying to dry roll and take any excess off the floor. And you'll always have enough in your roller if there's a little missed spot to kind of cross roll it in. But remember, this is just sealing our slab because we're on porous concrete, and anything porous will let air come out or moisture. And to block that, we put acetone in with our ultra-flex epoxy. So this is meant to impregnate our slab, but all the penetration that's gonna happen is gonna be happening today. So tomorrow, it's gonna be more topical. It'll look beautiful, we'll get it all primed gray. And it'll look nice, but it's not really sealing the floor anymore. So the more you do today, this is what's guaranteeing they will never have hot tire pickup or any of the bonding issues that you saw with the crap epoxy that was here before. So I hope we're taking care of you, Jackson. You guys are amazing. Exciting. We had a few really major transitions that we're going to try to kind of smooth out and just make them look clean today. And we want to make a canvas of our floor today. So this should, as long as we have a nice, smooth, monolithic gray floor, we're super happy because we'll come in here and sand a little bit tomorrow, sand any little highs, take care of any final little touch-ups, and then we're going to do our final gray top coat using our UltraFlex product. So, and honestly, if you do a floor like this correctly, there's 70,000 pound fire trucks going to be parking on this floor. You'll get horrible hot tire pickup if you don't use a good product like the UltraFlex. So if you're seeing floors peel up and everything, that's just a catalyzed paint, not a real epoxy. So come out to a class too. Now we want to be very careful. As I cut in, you notice I'm leaving that big pile up against that edge and I'm letting it flow right back out. He's gonna pull it right back out of that pocket behind me. Stuff like this. I'm gonna bring all my excess forward. Cutting in is slow, but very important. So now that we have our fractures filled, they're ground back, we sealed our slab, we ground our highs, filled our lows. Now we're primed for color, and now we're doing a topical flood coat. And we may pour, we have almost 100 gallons here, so which would be crazy excessive, but this floor is pretty uneven. It'll just make it easier to maintain and make it look pretty. This should be a very permanent, you know, a 50, 100-year floor. If you want to come in here even after 10 years, no matter how badly you damaged it, it's not going to most likely ever be delaminating. You could either polish it again, or you could really quickly sand it, spray a urethane top coat to it, and it would be brand new again. So here we go. I better get to work. Shut my freaking mouth. We got to see a moose right at our tool trailer. It was badass.
Get our who? I think I scared nobody.
That's what we asked for, huh? We wanted to see.
Why do I have a country song stuck in my head today, Michael? It was a dumb one. I haven't even listened to it forever. I can't sing it out loud. I mean, I could, but I'd suck at it. Don't know what it is about that little girl's loving, but I like it. I love it. So I don't know why what a weird song. I was on phones I wasn't supposed to be at in Iraq. I walked a long ways to some phones where it was usually kind of Haji control, and it was a good place to get killed, so we weren't supposed to be there. And I was like kind of dumb and immature, didn't know how dangerous it was, and I saw somebody wrote some code word on the phones, and it said, "My milkshake brings all the girls to the yard." And I was like, I thought some insurgent wrote some code to us on the wall. Went back and told them about it, and well, long story short, I found out it was just a song. But when you're overseas doing stuff like that, you don't have a lot of time to listen to cool new music, so you don't know when there's cool new music. It's kind of funny. They what? That was 03, 04, somewhere in there. I was in Iraq in 2003, 2004. Just a fine, fine mist. You don't want big droplets on this. You want a fine mist, and don't drag your feet like I do sometimes. Be organized when you're doing this too, because it's okay to hit something twice, but you don't want to miss anything. Oh, I don't want to get into where I'm going to be. That's one thing that'll leave a fisheye on your floor pretty bad. Spraying alcohol and it evaporates through. Yeah. Here, as long as it doesn't drip on the floor, and I'll use it in a minute. You can pour that bucket. There's still a chance for me to mess this up though, guys, so don't get too excited. Till I'm totally off the floor, we don't know. You know why I know this is gonna turn out? Because I do the best I can. I try to learn everything I can, but man, I'll tell you, I pray on jobs. I actually pray. I think God makes up so many differences that you and me can't. So if you ever are stuck, stressed, or worrying about your job, just literally pray about it and see what God wants you to learn. Say, give me wisdom. Tell me what I'm supposed to know, God. Because sometimes he lets little ups happen just so we learn what we're supposed to learn. And I feel that if we're receptive to that sooner, maybe we could go through less pain. So God bless you guys, and I appreciate every one of you guys for following us. Please hit that like button and follow our channel if you are watching. Don't creep for free on my ass. Actually, you can if you want. I don't really care. But follows are a big deal. We're a small company, and this is how we market. So you have companies like Home Depot and Lowe's that sell total bullshit product and don't help their customers with it. And they spend $800,000 a month on marketing against you. So we figured all I'd do is just tell the true story of what we do. And if that's enough, it's enough. So come work with us. Jackson Hole Fire and EMS, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for letting us be part of your crew for the week and try to help you with your apparatus bay. We've been watching you guys, and each and every one of you guys is professional, hardworking, and amazing individuals. You guys are a huge blessing to the people around you. I guarantee not one of you guys knows just what a blessing you are to individual people. So we hope that here from Supply House, we're able to come here and be a blessing to you guys and help clean up your already badass work bay that all you needed was some new floors. So I hope that worked out for you. God bless each and every one of you, and we just loved coming up here and working for you. So thank you, and thank you for serving your community, and I hope we served you properly. So peace.